JT, here we go. You know I love me some Monday Night Radio, and we are live and we're going big tonight on the Powerful 82. This is Mad Dog Sports Radio, and hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great weekend, and we got a lot to get to. So let's get rolling out of the gate. We got NBA games that are live. We love to jump in on the live NBA action, but I don't know. A lot of NBA fans are not going crazy yet because we're still dealing with load management. We're still tuning into games where at least one superstar or maybe two are not available to play, and March Madness is here. Welcome to the madness of March, everybody, and welcome to the Fraternal Order of the Men of Khaki Pants. These are men who have 1 month in their life to shine, and they love it. The college football fan is not always a college basketball fan. The college basketball fan I call the Fraternal Order of the Male of Khaki Pants, and they love to put their khakis on. They love to pack their sneakers and one pair of dress shoes. They love their two-collared shirt, their sports coat. They love to go to strip bar steakhouses, and they all come to me in Vegas. They don't care about the Sweet 16 location. They don't care about the 32 location. They don't care about the regional. They don't care about that. They want to come to Vegas, but they have to ask permission, and normally they have to ask permission before March 3rd. Because if you got one of those fiancés or one of those partners or one of those wives and you want to ask for permission to go to Vegas in March Madness, as a matter of fact, I want to give Vegas, where I'm broadcasting tonight, a big thumbs down. Because we used to be, I'm talking a short period of time ago, we used to be so easy to get to. You could come visit me in Vegas for $140 round trip. You could visit from New York, Florida, Canada. You could come to Vegas, maybe $200 one way, $400 round trip. You get to Vegas, you can get a room for $140 a night. Now we're ruining it. I told you, I'm not into politics and the economy, man, but it's not good out here. It's $1,000 round trip. Why? I don't know. The same planes fly in the air. The hotel rooms that should be $140 or $700 a night. It's a lot of money. And the steakhouses have all amped up their prices to a cocktail now, one cocktail. If you get 4 or 5 guys of the Fraternal Order of the Men in Khaki Pants to go to the bar before dinner, and one guy orders one round, 5 drinks, it's like $150. So I don't know. I don't even know if you can afford to come to Vegas, man. But wherever you're doing, we all celebrate March Madness. I love the madness. I do a lot out here in Vegas. If you're coming, let me know about this. Because I'm looking at these teams, and Joe Lunardi has Auburn as a 1 seed, Tennessee, Duke, and Houston. I'm watching Houston tonight. Izzo and Michigan State, Iowa State, Florida, and Alabama as 2 seeds. I don't care much about bubble teams. I don't. But if you do care about your team getting into the tournament, they got to play well right now. We're in the month of March. So I don't got much on March Madness tonight other than this Houston game that's in progress. But I wanted to welcome everybody. First time on Mad Dog in the month of March, as I've had a great run here in February into March, and thanks for listening. I'm on YouTube at JT the Brick YT. You should know that by now. You can hit me up on X. X is easy, at JT the Brick, and you should be calling this show because I am the last bastion of hope at night. Me, I've been doing this longer than anybody. I know how to take calls. I know how to be live. I don't waste your time. I don't need 3 co-hosts. I don't have 4 clappers in the background laughing at jokes. We do fast-paced, adrenaline-paced sports talk radio. So wherever you are, you should feel like you're included, and you should feel like you are involved. And you should understand, though, you got to sound off like you got a pair. Because if you're not any good, you will not be here. If you're good, you'll have more latitude and maybe longitude. We'd love to hear from you. So start dialing after the 25-minute monologue. Not many guys can do that either. Not many guys can do 20 minutes without 2 co-hosts and someone writing in the teleprompter. I live for this. This will be 8 hours today for me on radio. 8 hours by the end of this shift. There's only 24 hours in the day. So I am all juiced up. I am all prepped up, and I'm ready to go at 888-623-3646. All right, here's the good news and the bad news. What do you want first? I'll give you the bad news first. Oh, my God, this isn't a great draft. It's not. It's not a great draft. And, oh, no. It's really bad free agency. Yeah, I just told you that. No one else is. I'm sorry. I tell you the truth. I'm your friend. We don't have a great draft. Oh, if you believe in the running back draft, if you read the propaganda that it's the greatest running back draft of all time, oh, my God, you're going to be able to get a running back in the 7th round. Good luck with that. The best running backs are the first 4 to go off the board, and they're good. led by Ashton Genty. It's not a great wide receiver draft. There's one monster going to come out maybe in the top 10. So it is not a deep draft when it comes to wide receiver. When was the last time you saw a good linebacker come out of college and play like Ray Lewis or Lawrence Taylor? Let me know. And then the quarterbacks, I'm a fan of Cam Ward and Shador. I even like Jackson Dart. But then you're starting to just throw darts up against the wall, and you're trying to find out who can play in this league. So it's not a great draft. But I'm in Vegas where we have the 6th pick overall, we the Raider Nation. We are live in Nashville, right? Nashville has the number 1 pick overall. That's a big topic. The Jets are right there with the 7th pick. The Giants stink. What's that smell? P.U. What stink? Oh, that would be the Giants. They stink. And Mr. Mara and Mr. Tisch didn't fire Joe Shane, and they're giving Daboll another chance. They better get a quarterback because they had no shot at getting Matthew Stafford. Stafford was going to Vegas or L.A. He stayed in L.A. I'll get to that in a minute. So if you want your guy in the draft, you better get him in the first 12 to 13 picks. Last year, the 13th pick in the draft was Brock Bowers. He broke every single rookie tight end record going back to Mike Ditka. And number 12 was Bo Nix. He turned out to be a very good player. Bo Nix turned out to be a very good player. Michael Penix went to Atlanta early. Jaden Daniels won 2 road playoff games. Caleb Williams did not play great. He did not play well. He wasn't a bust. He's not a bust. He's a good player. They blew out the coach to bring in Ben Johnson to try to fix him. And then Drake May's pretty good. So that was just last year. We don't have that this year. And now we're seeing rumors coming out of the combine that Shador Sanders walked into a couple of meetings. Todd McShay and others maybe had a little bit of an attitude. That's the news we got. We got nothing else that Shador might have not looked everybody in the eye and been perfect in his 15-minute meetings. Let me remind you, Shador knows exactly where he wants to go. And if he doesn't want to go to your team, he's not going to go into the 15-minute meeting with pom-poms and doing backflips and go over the top with you. He's not going to do that because he's Shador Sanders, the son of Dion. The kid has proven his entire life, no DUIs, no alcohol, no drugs, no crazy girlfriends, no nothing there. He has proven that he is an elite human being, an elite player. Dion brought him up right. He kind of rebuilt 2 programs in college, to Jackson State and the Buffaloes of Colorado. He put them on his back. He's going to be a really good quarterback. I don't want to talk about him being a bust. I don't want to manifest that Shador is going to be Jamarcus Russell or Ryan Leaf or other people out there. No, let's build this kid up. Let's hope this kid comes in. So when you're watching TV on a Sunday, Monday, Thursday night, and wherever Shador plays, you turn on the TV, you get your popcorn ready and say, I want to see this kid play. This kid can throw it all over the ballpark. I want to see him play. We should be rooting for him. But I saw a little bit of negativity with Shador earlier today, where people are wondering, is Shador going to be able to get it done? Is Shador going to be that type of player? Is Shador going to be likable? Is Shador going to care about everybody? Stop doing this garbage where you have no news on a guy and all you're going to do is shame him and make him out like he's a bad guy. He's not. He's a really good kid and he's going to do well. So let's get behind some of these young kids and don't tear them down. When I'm on the radio and people call in, grown-ass men call in and say, this guy's going to be a bust. I say, why would you do that? Why would you do that to a college kid? What did that college kid ever do to you? What did he ever do to hurt your feelings? You've never met the kid before. You've never met the kid. You don't know who the kid is. Root for the kid. And now we're starting to see that because we're running out of free agent quarterbacks, right? Stafford's in LA. Sam Darnold's the next best guy. Everybody's questioning Justin Fields. Everybody's trying to figure out what are we going to do with Russell Wilson? Oh my God, Russ took a picture with his wife on the Vanity Fair party. Oh, he's got an ego. No, he doesn't. He just went to the Vanity Fair party at the Oscars. I would have went with Babchick if you would have invited me. How did Charlemagne do? Charlemagne didn't win. I had Charlemagne best actor like Doggy. I thought there was kind of some robbery going on there. So don't knock Russ because he was at the Vanity Fair party and Doggy Eye and Babs weren't there. So everybody's starting to tear down these quarterbacks, and it bothers me a bit. So let's get to Matthew Stafford, because the last time I talked to you, there was a good chance he wasn't going to be a Ram. But we heard from Sean McVay, who had a lot to say. This is from the Dan Patrick Show on the potential. Could they ever have thought that they would lose Matthew Stafford?
This process, and I've been pretty open about some of the communication and the clarity that was deserved. And I had some growing up to do when we ended up making the move to acquire Matthew for Jared Goff, to acquire Matthew and move Jared Goff. And so wanted to have clear, open, and honest dialogue throughout that process. But the end goal in mind was always to be able to get him back.
I never thought that Stafford was one of these elite superstar potential free agent quarterbacks. I always thought Stafford was a good player. He's a Hall of Famer. But I don't know where you put Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers was as good as Stafford. He didn't win a Super Bowl. So the Chargers have never won a Super Bowl. Stafford wouldn't have won one if he stayed in Detroit. You put Phillip Rivers on the Rams with Sean McVay, maybe he would have got 2 Super Bowls. So we look at the quarterbacks who didn't get it done. And Stafford, I got a lot of respect for Stafford, but he would have been a good fit in Vegas because Vegas has got Max Crosby and Brock Bowers. He wouldn't have been a good fit with the Giants, but people at the Combine were all worked up about where was he going to go. This Combine, I've talked to 10 people on the radio, 10 at minimum, who all said this Combine will go down in history with an asterisk. It was the Matthew Stafford Combine. Everybody went in there. Everybody went to Radio Row, and everybody didn't talk about the players. They just talked about Matthew Stafford. And Stafford bumped up everybody's interest, and Stafford ended up going back to the Rams for more money. McVay to Dan Patrick on why it was important in bringing him back.
And when you go through these conversations, I think the thing that I'm grateful for is the collaboration and the communication throughout the process, where sometimes these things can be challenging. Matthew was great. I think Jimmy Sexton, Matthew's agent, was excellent. Les had a lot of dialogue with him.
That is interesting to me because Jimmy Sexton shopped him. And Jimmy Sexton is a really good agent, and he took Matthew Stafford out on a small, not a world tour, not a Rolling Stones, not a Taylor Swift world tour. They took him out on a little regional tour. And Jimmy Sexton kind of amped up a couple of teams and got Stafford the money he wanted. So I brought up Stafford again because he's now not a part of free agency. Free agency, you can make decisions. Right here, it's March 3rd. On March 10th, you can start to agree to terms. I mean, these leagues, wink, wink, these agents talk before March 10th, everybody. And then March 14th, it becomes official. I don't think it's a great free agency. I don't. There's only a handful of big names. One of them's off the board. T. Higgins was hit with the franchise tag today. I like the franchise tag. It's one of the only ways that the owners have leverage with the players and say, no, we drafted you. Our team was bad. You're really good. We want to keep you. We're not going to let you leave after 4 years, 5 years. No, the owners have the right to tag the player. And I don't think T. Higgins is going to be thrilled about this because if he gets injured, and we never predict injuries, never, want everybody to be healthy. But if he does, he doesn't have any guaranteed money. It's just going to play for 1 year. But T. Higgins, in my opinion, is not a top 5 receiver. He's close. He's in the top 10. He's not in the top 5, and he gets top 5 yearly money for this. Pat Kerwin, the great Pat Kerwin, who has a vast history and knowledge here on our partner NFL Radio, talking about Cincy now with Jamar Chase and tagging T. Higgins.
You automatically, before you even do the deal, you know that Chase is getting a lot more than that. So how do you put them both under contract? And
well, if you're going to give Higgins a lot of money long term, you should have did it by now. They should have signed Chase last year, but Mike Brown historically is a very cheap owner. That's not me making that up. It's fact. They travel poorly. Their facility usually always sucked. They don't have great meals. They don't have great locker rooms. They don't pay their players normally. And they got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, and Trey Hendrickson. Those are four maybe of the top 25 players in all of football. So I think it's smart to retain T. Higgins on the franchise tag. It gives Cincinnati an opportunity to go and try to line up one more shot at the Super Bowl. Let me repeat that. A very important comment that I'm saying. Other than Philly, who won the Super Bowl, no team is invested in winning this upcoming Super Bowl than the Cincinnati Bengals tagging T. Higgins. The Niners are letting everybody go. The Niners, no for Debo, right? Maybe they want to trade Ayuk. Now it's coming home for the Niners because they got to pay Brock Purdy. So the Niners would like you to believe that they're in the Super Bowl hunt. The Niners are not. The Niners are not in the Super Bowl hunt as they try to fix their cap and fix the structure of their organization. Cincinnati is all in. So last year I had Detroit, Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. I'm my preseason pick. And I'm probably going to have Detroit back in the Super Bowl this year again. I love Detroit and their roster, and they'll be fine with the coaches that they lost. But Cincinnati, where do you put Cincinnati tonight? Tonight, that T. Higgins is tagged when you look at the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Not Houston. Houston's a pretender. Every year they come into the playoffs, they play in the Saturday wild card and lose. So Cincinnati sent a message that they're back one more time with T. Higgins. I don't expect them to get a long-term deal done. If they do, great. I don't expect them. But they'll have one more ride with T. Higgins to try to get it done. Rich Gannon, great friend of mine, great friend of the show. Here's the former MVP's opinion on the Bengals tagging Higgins.
You got a quarterback like Joe Burrow. You got to find a way to keep them all together. And, of course, the tag carries a salary of $26.16 million because of the 20% raise mandated for a second tag. So looks like the Bengals trying to wrap up T. Higgins for a long-term contract.
See, I disagree with Rich on that. I don't think they're going to be able to do that. If they do, you know where to find me. Again, the show started 18 minutes ago. What am I waiting for? We got NFL free agency around the corner. What free agent do you want on your football team? If you need a quarterback, you should be calling me. If you need a free agent wide receiver or someone, you should tell me who you want and what your team needs are. I know your team needs. I got the free agents here in front of me. What do you want to do to get your team going? 888-623-3646 is the number. Russell Baxter, the legendary historian for ESPN back in the day, good friend of the show at the bottom of the hour. Kirk Morrison will join us a little bit later in the show. Man, is he a fun guest. He is unbelievable, Kirk Morrison. He did a lot of great work after the Super Bowl for NFL radio. And Jennifer Lee Chan, who I haven't spoke to before, she covers the 49ers for NBC Sports Bay Area. She'll join us at the top of next hour, and we'll get a vibe to see if the Niners are going to have a shot and get this going. Ladies and gentlemen, you got me on Monday, Tuesday, right? I'm here this week, Monday, Tuesday. Take advantage of me. Let's go. Are you into the NBA? My son's in the other room. He's a diehard Laker fan. He said, Dad, you got to start being more friendly on the NBA. I said, what do you mean? He's like, you're like Barkley and Shaq. You're always ripping on the NBA. But I said, son, I love the NBA. I love the NBA. You grew up watching me watch the NBA. Kobe posters, Jordan posters. You collected Jordan cards when you were kids. What do you mean I don't love the NBA? I said, no, Dad. You're really hard on the NBA. Every time I listen, you have a tone in your voice like the NBA is doing something wrong. And it hit me. Excuse the pun, like a ton of bricks. He might be right. Maybe I've been too hard on the NBA. What do you find appealing tonight on March 3rd with March Madness and college hoops here? Hockey back from the Four Nations. What do you find appealing about the NBA? The only thing I like about the NBA is the pure athleticism of some of the superstar players. But I still have more problems with the NBA than more likes. And my problems are load management, injuries. And every time I turn on the bleeping TV to watch an NBA game, I take out my phone, I look and see who's inactive, and there's always a player who's not available to play. One of the best players on the team is not available to play. And I know that's going to change. I know it's going to change when the playoffs come around. I know that's going to change. But we're still in the NBA regular season, and I don't feel it from you, man. I'm a touch feel guy on the radio. I need to feel when I'm giving out is coming back at me. You know what I mean? That's what I do differently. I love to throw out my passion and hear something in return. And I just don't feel it from everybody on the NBA. I mean, Oklahoma City, really, that's the team. They look pretty good tonight. I mean, are we really Memphis, Oklahoma City? Is that going to carry you there? Do you believe that LeBron, along with Luka, can go on a run to win the title? You know, I despise Jimmy Butler now for the way he treated Pat Riley and the way he ran his ass out of Miami. I root for Jimmy Butler to fail, and he's played really well. I guess I'm the only guy with any guts on the radio to remind you what a fraud he was and the way he quit and was suspended and quit on Miami. And I'm supposed to make him a hero on Mad Dog Sports Radio? Have you lost your mind? You think I forget? I don't forget what happened a month ago with Jimmy Butler. He's a bad guy. He's now one of the bad guys of the league. And just because he's playing with Steph, and Steph's like a cartoon character and everybody loves him, doesn't mean I'm rooting for Jimmy Butler. So we got a lot of NBA action to get to. College hoops. Hockey is back. I'm back. 888-623-3646 is the number. Your team, what do you want to do in free agency or the draft? I need one pick for your team. Is it a draft pick or is it a free agent? Pretty simple question, but complicated to a lot of fans because the free agent looks more flashy. You can get the free agent way before the draft and have them and wrap them up like a toy on Christmas. The draft, you got to wait for the draft, and no one knows what's going to happen in the draft. JT live from Las Vegas, the sports and entertainment capital of the world. 888-623-3646. Russell Baxter, the football guru, coming up next. You're listening to Mad Dog Sports Radio. We're good. We're off to the races. Let me give you. Thank you. I'll be right there. You say you like to be fiery. I got my son's ASU coffee mug. All right, who's in the chat here? How do you like the nighttime feed, man? Right, got to get the nighttime feed going, man. I need the biggest syndicated show at night in sports for a long time. We got to get this thing going. We got to get a lot of people in here, man. Can't have 20 people in here. We need like 2,000 people in here. And it will take its time, but I appreciate you finding me here. Appreciate that. I always bail out of here at the bottom of the hour. We do about 30 minutes, so stick around. Carla, my homie Carla's in the house. Female radio. Nice to have a lady there. Fabian. Yes. Yes. Purnell, what do you want to do with Russell Baxter? Has he been teed up? What does he specifically want to hit on? Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Gotcha. I don't know if he was there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Who's on our updates, please? The great Rob Render. There he is. Thank you, Rob. Good. Real good. What's hot tonight, Rob? What are you hitting on? Yep. Look at this. I like that DK Metcalf. I like him in a trade. I do, actually. Yeah. How serious did Kyrie look with the injury? Because I saw it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. We're ready to roll here. Yes, JT here at night where I belong. I'm on during the day. You can find all of it wherever you find me on X at JT the Brick, on YouTube at JT the Brick YT. Rob Brender will join us in a moment. Coming up at the bottom of the hour on the Kyrie Irving injury and the severity of it with his knee. Hopefully he's okay. Sacramento blowing out Dallas 103-71 in the NBA. The NBA can't afford injuries. All major sports can't afford injuries, but the NBA with 12 guys on the bench, you lose a star or two. You lose Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, and you trade Luka Doncic. It's no need to watch. Okay, the league is top heavy with star talent, and when the star talent goes down, it's almost unwatchable. It is. It's almost at a point where you sit there and you say, "What are you going to do?" You're tuning into an NBA game on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday night. If a starter is out, who's a star, it hurts the product. No one cares about the guys coming off the bench. Playoffs, that's where they make their name. But it seems like there's a collision course between LeBron James and Steph Curry out west. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who had a monster game tonight, is a great story to watch. But I'm choosing tonight at least to stay on the NFL as the franchise tag is here. T. Higgins was tagged. And want to get your opinion on that going forward. 888-623-3646. Kenny in Pittsburgh. I want to get you up here before our guest. If you call, I'll get to you. How are you, Kenny? Go ahead. Thank you.
Hey, so I was just curious what you thought about the Steelers possibly going out and getting
Goodbye. That call is exactly my problem. That call isn't ready. Not our guys. Our guys got him up. The caller is not ready. You got to be ready to go, man. You're on a big channel, no matter who's hosting. Sound off like you got up here. The Steelers have to figure out quarterback. They're not going to have Russell Wilson, and they're not going to have Justin Fields. They got to figure out running back because Najee Harris is a free agent. I like him. He's a good player. He's physical and he's tough. I think they got kind of a wild card as a wide receiver out on the edge. Tomlin has got to be close to leaving the organization than staying longer. And the defense is getting a little bit older with TJ Watt, who's still a great player here. I think Pittsburgh in free agency, they don't have a lot of options in free agency here. They got to figure out what they're going to do with the quarterback position. And if I'm Pittsburgh, I keep Russell Wilson more, and I think that Justin Fields will be available in free agency. 888-623-3646. We'll dive into the NFL with one of the great researchers of all time, a stat guy, a guy who's great with the history of the league. Russell Baxter joins us next after Rob Brender as your Mad Dog Sports Bite. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Thanks for finding me here tonight, everybody, because it's a pay service. I got to get off here in 30 minutes. But thank you to the bricklayers. Thanks for people who find me in the day, night, and all the other times. I promise we're going to do a lot more night feeds. I think there's a bastion of people out there at night. I want to get to all of you. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it.